Welcome to another episode, everyone. And Jefe responds to Hoover Gumby, pretty much takes the gloves off. He's not happy about the things that Hoover Gumby had to say, apparently in his video, where he told Aunt Jefe that he is not Channel 7 News and to stop reporting all of this stuff, basically. I said at the end that I thought Hoover Gumby was just trying to give him advice. But let's get into it, and then we get into it. Let's get right into it.
Like the other one. The recipient of Hot Topics, man, we got Hoover Gumby. Man, so I see, man, a lot of you older dudes, man, man, out here kind of acting foolish, man. I don't know if this is content, or I don't know if dudes are legit in the way they feel, and just, basically trying to give some game. But I'm receptive to game, right? I'm receptive to game from all ages, you know what I'm saying? As long as it's some game that I don't already know about, or as long as you standing on business, you know what I'm saying? Because you can make your mouth say anything, you know what I'm saying? And that's what's been going on this internet. So, Hoover Gumby, you absolutely right. I'm not Channel 7 News, but you're not Channel 7 News either. You know what I'm saying? You're definitely not. Now, Hoover Gumby, I'm going to just say this, right? So, we ain't gonna get disrespectful or anything like that because it wasn't really no disrespect on your behalf, but I just kind of thought that you had an outrageous title talking about Gumby crash out on that Jefe, and then you start your thing, well, you are not Channel 7 News. With news to you, bro.
Well, that's not what this title said, that Gumby crashes out on at Jefe. That's what other people's title has said. And I was careful not to put that in my title, even though I believe my thumbnail said Gumby crashes out. I didn't know what else to freaking say, but in the title, I just said he sends a warning to Aunt Jefe. Other people put in the title, Gumby said Aunt Jefe's a snitch. Gumby crashes out on, that's why I said it in the video. He didn't crash out on him. He was just trying to, like, big brother him. He called him little bro in there a few times, trying to give him advice. But I'm not here to defend Gumby. I'm rather sure Gumby will have a response to this. Perhaps not. But Aunt Jefe is not finished. I'm sure Gumby's gonna have a response to this stuff that Aunt Jefe is about to say. So I'll let Gumby defend himself.
You're not Channel 7 News either, bro. I've seen you, bro, in a suit, bro. I've seen you in a suit, bro, talking with news reporters, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you came on the internet, bro, speaking on this Big Diablo situation, you know what I'm saying? You had a situation with Big Diablo on the yard for whatever reason. Y'all got into it. Dude basically got at you in the sense of that he was going to grape you, you know what I'm saying? And said that he going to make you his, you know what I'm saying, bitch. Now, from there, you handled your business, you know what I'm saying? But it could be looked at, you know what I'm saying, any kind of way, or you did it in front of the police, or whatever the case may be, because blacks are not known to, do stuff in front of the police, you know what I'm saying? We trying to get away with it, you know what I'm saying? That's more like of a South Side and skinhead or white thing, to handle your business, keep on, stabbing them or keep on doing your thing until they shoot the power gun, the Mini 14, or you get caught or whatever the case may be. Tomato, you did what you did. But
As I said, I'm gonna do my best to stay neutral in this, but regardless of who was saying this, I would have to intervene or interject and say a couple of things since I know about that situation with Gumby. If it was a blood making a video saying something, I would correct the situation, whoever it was. Northaniel Sereno made a video about Hoover Gumby and the situation that transpired there in prison. I was in prison when that situation transpired with Big Diablo, as young Aunt Jefe just referred to. I'm not sure why he's even bringing up this situation at this point. It has been talked about on the internet multiple times. Gumby spoke about it himself loosely on Cam Capone News. So, it's not like it's not out here on the internet. And I'm not here to criticize young Aunt Jefe or whatever. When they start beefing, everything comes out and all sort of stuff comes up. Nevertheless, Aunt Jefe, for those who may not know, and matter of fact, I'm not about to get to the whole thing because people be saying my videos are too long, even though the commenters have spoken and they said yesterday, my viewers, my subscribers, my supporters, no, man, your videos are not too long. Make them longer. We good with that, bro. So for those who don't like it, I don't know. as much as you can watch and then get out of here. Nevertheless, thank you all for your support. But I'm not going to go into the whole thing with Gumby. Most of y'all know about the case and know about the situation that Aunt Jefe is referring to. And I don't want to get into all of that. And again, I'm not sure why he's getting into that. But Aunt Jefe just said that Hoover Gumby did something to Big Diablo. Big Diablo's from Hoover. Hoover Gumby unalived him in prison, for those who may not know. Just to reference what Aunt Jefe is referring to, some of you may be like, what is he talking about? Long story short, that's what happened. Okay. So Aunt Jefe is saying that this happened. There's been a false narrative put out there for some time that the reason that Hoover Gumby has stabbed Big Diablo is because Big Diablo was trying to grape him, was trying to make him his biatch. And that's what Aunt Jefe just said. He was trying to make you his biatch. Now, I'm sure Aunt Jefe knows that this is not true. I'm sure he knows that this is not the case. I'm sure he's heard the story, being from where he's from. But again, I don't want to get into this. I'm not coming for Aunt Jefe. I just want to clear something up. I know for a fact what happened there. Most of us know. It had absolutely nothing to do with Big Diablo. Because first of all, people coming with that narrative, first of all, you saying big, you disparaging and denigrating Big Diablo's name, saying that he was gay, basically. Okay, for one. And for two, that's not what happened. There was another situation that transpired there in prison between these two individuals, and it happened over there had absolutely nothing to do with Diablo trying to make Gumby his girl. No.
You doing what you doing, bro. You got this lawsuit, and in this lawsuit, you have to basically speak of the situation of you being frightened for your life because this dude that was a menacing figure and had a lot of assaults in jail and was known to assault people was trying to comfort you at a young age. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure you spoke on this situation, you know what I'm saying? Which I feel, you shouldn't have. And, other Hoovers, you know what I'm saying, they came at you and got at you about speaking on the situation. And like I said, I'm not here to go tit for tat, but I'm just saying, like, you gotta look yourself in the mirror, bro. Like, before
this call is being recorded,
you cast a stone that you already cast against yourself. You say you can't cast no stone against me that you have cast on yourself, Gumby. Like, for real, OG, I'm just telling you some real game. You have said on here several times or more, and you said on podcasts it's politicking about gang stuff. I do not politic about gang stuff on podcasts. Do I talk about gang stuff? Yes, I don't politic. I'm not politicking with no dudes who doesn't gangbang about gangbang politics. It's definitely my game. You sat down with I don't even gotta name the names. You sat down with a lot of podcasters talking about Hoover business, and none of these guys wasn't from Hoover. You know what I'm saying? You would link Hoover business to these podcasters with other Hoover members. You would sat down on couches. You would call Hoovers out in Texas telling them that they wasn't from Hoover no more. They need to stop banking Hoover. That you got the green light from the G homies. You know what I'm saying? That it's no bueno. Stop pushing the set. I said it. Blah, blah, blah. I've reacted to this, I'm trying to give you some game on the situation as being somebody who's been to the feds, like, hey, Gumby, man, you might want to watch us if you're kind of doing too much, man. This could bring on a federal indictment. They're going to hit you, you know what I'm saying? At the top of the list is if you this gang leader. So I'm not understanding, bro, how you coming to me, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? And I hope it's genuine, though, but I'm kind of feeling like to a degree that it's kind of like content, bro, that, my name been hot in the social media space, and people been using my name and saying my name for all type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, all type of lies, nothing factual. And I kind of feel like you went hopped on that wave, bro, you know what I'm saying? I feel you were kind of hopped on that wave, bro. You're trying to say my name because you've been on the internet doing the same ish that you claim that I'm doing. You're not Channel 7 News, bro, and nor should you be broadcasting Hoover business, bro. You broadcast business like I said, with this out of town stuff to where big deal and that, they're like, hey, bro, stop speaking on Fadu's business, bro. It ain't for you to say that the G go before the C with the Fadu's and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? As well as the stuff with you and Hawk. You know what I'm saying? Even when we was in No Jumper, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Hoovers called in at No Jumper, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know that whole situation, bro. I know why they called in. I know the situation and who which they called in about and the dudes you hang with and all that. Did I come to the internet to speak on that? No, I allowed that to be Hoover business. See, you dudes don't know, bro. It's a lot of stuff that I can speak on that I don't speak on, bro. I speak on what I want to speak on, bro, and what I feel is cool to speak on. I don't care what you dudes, you know what I'm saying, feel is not cool, bro. Like I tell my homies, you know what I'm saying, tell my close friends, bro, I do not care what makes you mad, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, I you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna never do that foul, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what puts you in your feelings or what you think I shouldn't do, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do nothing foul, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing, I'm not gonna do nothing foul, I'm not gonna tell, anything like that, you know what I'm saying? You telling me that I shouldn't be speaking on something that was already placed out there. These dudes already placed the recording out there and placed their names on the recording. I'm not Channel 7 News if I'm coming behind somebody doing some content, so that's what you dudes need to stop hopping out there trying to, you know what I'm saying, be self-righteous, you know what I'm saying, in your approach, bro. And like I said, you did the same thing, bro. You got a whole lot of content with you putting Hoover business out there and you politicking, bro. So you have to look in the mirror, bro, and stand on what you talking about before you try to give me some game as an OG, bro. Because you would drop the ball many of times, which it had the Hoovers coming at you on the internet, bro. I have other homies on the internet, bro, that does content. Ain't none of my homies ever came at me about no content I did. You know what I'm saying? I've never discussed no A-Trick gangster politics on No Jumper, or none of that, bro. When Adam 22 came at me about something about A-Trick and certain things, bro, I cut that short, bro. I don't do none of that, bro. I ain't put up a podcast where Jefe was on a podcast talking about A-Trick gangster business. I talk about my business. The only thing I've talked about pertaining to A-Trick gangster,
This call is being recorded.
the indictment that I was on, because the indictment was dropped, and that's something that I did time for, and a lot of stuff wasn't accurate, and I can attest to that, bro. But like we gotta stop playing, man. And like Michael Jackson said, man, the man in the mirror, bro. You gotta look yourself in the mirror, bro, and make sure you standing on business before you start talking about what somebody else did, bro. Because you done had press conferences and all this, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you got your money, you know what I'm saying, behind this jail case and behind this Diablo thing, bro. And that's no shots being thrown or anything, or me trying to be funny or anything. I'm just telling you some real stuff, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, you can't tell me that I'm being Channel 7 News when you have been dressed up and had news press conference, bro. And you've been on this internet talking Hoover business and politicking with podcasters that's non-affiliates, bro. Like, let's just keep it a buck, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't give no game that you ain't been receptive to, bro, because you on the internet doing what you accusing me of doing, bro. And that's just real, and I'm going to leave it right there, bro. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, I'm going to conclude that right there, man.
All right, there you have it. Want to give Aunt Jefe a chance to speak and get it all out. We'll see what Hoover Gumby has to say in response. We just heard it. No need for me to belabor the points that Aunt Jefe just made. He just said that Hoover Gumby gave an interview with the news station in a suit when he got out from somewhere or something, or when he won this lawsuit, and basically just put this jacket on him that Big Diablo was trying to make him his girl and whatever, and that's why he's killed him. That's not what happened. And that he's been speaking, gang politics on the internet, that he does not speak gang politics. Now, I don't know. As I said, I just want to, stay as neutral as I can in this. I'm not coming for anyone. Shout out to young Aunt Jefe. And we all want him to get out of his situation. And I believe that Gumby does as well. I believe that Gumby wants Aunt Jefe to get out of the situation. I did read the comments from Aunt Jefe's video, and many of them were on Gumby's side and said, no, Aunt Jefe, he was just trying to help you, bro. He was not criticizing you. He did not say he was a snitch. He was not coming at you. He's been through this stuff. He was just trying to help you. So, and that's what I said at the time when I covered what Gumby had to say to young Aunt Jefe. Yes, he did say that you're not Channel 7 News or whatever. That's the only thing you can say that was really strong in there or whatever. And that's just sort of came off of his tongue. But for the most part, throughout that video, Gumby was telling Aunt Heavy, he was saying, come on, little bro, you have to be careful about what you're saying. I fought the death penalty twice. They're going to try this. They're going to try that. They're going to come at you with this content you're doing right now. He told him what it's called, a character or something. I mean, he was essentially, it looked like trying to lace him up. Apparently, that's how many of the viewers had seen it as well. That's apparently not how young Aunt Jefe seen it, apparently, obviously. But now, also, things that Aunt Jefe was saying about Hoover Gumby speaking on podcasts and dressing up in a suit. I've seen that when he's talking about that little news clipping before. Some time ago, I had seen it where Gumby was in a suit, but he had just won his lawsuit or just got out of prison. News reporters were there asking him about it, and he answered. He didn't speak anything about the case or anything like that. I didn't see anything wrong with the news clipping. I'm not sure why that came up, but nevertheless, this is what happens when everyone is going at each other. But everything that he said about Hoover Gumby, I get it. I don't think that Hoover Gumby was trying to be a hypocrite. Again, I'll let Hoover Gumby speak for himself. But I think Hoover Gumby's point is that you're talking on the phone about gang politics, whether you're talking about your gang or not. You're talking on the phone about gang politics. So you're in there for a gang-related case. Everything that he just said about Hoover Gumby was not in jail, fighting a case at the time when he's giving these interviews and whatever else that he was criticizing him for, speaking on podcasts, gang politics and exposing gang politics on podcasts and that. You can say all of that. But I believe his point was, and most people's point is, that he's not locked up when he's doing all this. You are in jail fighting a murder case. This is why he's telling you to get off the phone. He's not saying he didn't have a problem when you was out putting stuff in your title and speaking on politics or whatever. He didn't come at you then. He's not saying that you're wrong for speaking on politics or speaking on gang politics. He's not criticizing you, I don't think, for speaking on gang politics in particular. You're on the street speaking on gang politics and all of your content. And he didn't have anything to say about it. He didn't criticize that. I don't think that's what he was saying. I think he's saying, since you are in jail fighting a gang case, you should no longer now be speaking about gang politics, since you are fighting a murder case in jail that is gang related, according to the police. Because of that, you shouldn't be on the phone, a recorded call, talking about gang politics for your own good. Once you come on the street, what happened on No Jumper and on your own channel, you on the street. I'm not saying that everybody talking about gang politics. Hey, do what you got to do. Some people exposing too much and, being criticized for that, what have you. But people are doing gang content, whatever. Okay, that's on the street. That's different. We talking about with this situation that you're in, fighting a murder case, gang related, on a recorded call, I believe is what Gumby was saying. But again, I'll allow Gumby to speak for himself. I'm assuming he'll have a response to this. If and when he does, we'll get into it. Let me know what you think in the comments. That's young Aunt Jefe. Shout out to young Aunt Jefe. Try to focus, man. Stay free. No, I'm not using your name when they was running all this content on you. I wasn't one of them. I got my own content. I have the whole world. I got the whole world to make content on, the whole world. I'll never need content. I got the whole world. The way my mind works, I got the whole world. I sit here and make up something about the TV. Shit, the hell. I can talk about anything. I'm not using it. I'm covering some of this stuff, reacting to this. It came across my timeline right now. Let me know what you all think in the comments. We'll see what Hoover Gumby has to say. Shout out to Hoover Gumby. As I said, I'll let him defend himself if he feels like he wants to or needs to or whatever. And then we'll go from there. Stay safe and stay free, people.